Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to all our 12th Monarchs out there in Monarch Nation, coming off a thrilling 38-35 win on homecoming. Marked our 40th consecutive sellout, the only team in the history of college football to sell out every home game we've ever played, and we needed our loud and proud 12th Monarchs, particularly with this fourth quarter comeback on Saturday. So a big thank you from myself and our football team. This game was clearly a back and forth game, a game we led 21-10 at halftime, and then we had a very difficult third quarter. Florida International took the lead 27-21. We scored to take it 28-27, and then it came down to a fourth quarter where I felt like we played our best football of the year. In the fourth quarter, defensively, we held Florida International to 9 yards on 8 plays. In the fourth quarter, offensively, we had 125 yards on 25 plays and had the touchdown and the field goal. So clearly in crunch time, our kids really came through in this game, and that had been something that had been a challenge for us this year. In our 6 losses, 5 of those losses came down to the fourth quarter. So to win a game like this in the fourth quarter, similar to what we had to do in the Rice game, same type of finish, a field goal with no time left to win it, but just a different kicker this time with the game-winning field goal. So very proud of our team and how we finished. Special teams-wise, we were very average in this game. Obviously, the biggest play was Satchel Ziffer with the 28-yard field goal to win it, and a tremendous hold by Joe Pulisic on that. We had a little bit of a low snap there that Joe had to field, and he did a phenomenal job with that. Our kickoff coverage was very good in this game against the best return team that we had faced so far. We were poor on kickoff return, a couple bad decisions. We didn't field the ball properly, and we didn't block well, and that hurt us in this game. And then our punt team allowed a 27-yard return to an explosive returner, which gave them great field position. Defensively, I thought we were very good against the pass game. We only allowed 132 yards. Unfortunately, 57 of them came on one play that led to a touchdown. We had 2 missed tackles on that play, one by our safety and our corner. So they got almost half of their passing yards on one play with a couple missed tackles. We had a very difficult time defending the run in this game. They had 55 carries for 256 yards, and what has been a theme of this season, they controlled the line of scrimmage. The majority of the offensive lines we've played, other than in the Eastern Michigan game, they've had success controlling the line of scrimmage, and that's an area we know we need to improve on as we move forward. Third down, they were 8 for 14. They had a lot of success, particularly early. We shut them out on third down in the fourth quarter, and of their 8 conversions they had, 7 of them were run plays. They were third and very manageable down and distances. What I was most impressed with by our defense is how they performed in the fourth quarter. Florida International had 3 drives. The first one was a 3-and-out that got us the ball back offensively with about 8 minutes to play, and we didn't convert offensively. We had a 4th and 8 completion to Ray Lowry for 6 yards, which took some energy away from us. And then with 4 minutes to go, they got another 3-and-out, got us the ball back, and the offense went down and scored. And then probably the defensive player of the year, the interception by Falante Misher with 23 seconds left that set us up in position to kick the field goal. So an excellent job by our defense in the fourth quarter. I thought our defense was very good in the first half. We only allowed 10 points, and they really only had 1 significant drive in the first half. But the third quarter was a very poor performance defensively. Offensively, we had great balance in this game. We had 525 yards total, 315 passing, and then 210 running the ball. So that balance allowed us to keep them off balance defensively, allowed us to get some explosive pass plays down the field. I thought Taylor was excellent in this game. He was 20 for 35 for 315 yards. He had 2 touchdowns with no interceptions. Half of his incompletions were he was throwing the ball away, either pressure or something wasn't open, so he wasn't taking sacks or negative plays. He ran the ball well. He had 13 carries for 76 yards before you figure in the sacks, and 4 of those were third downs where he ran and got the first down. Just did a really, really good job overall managing the game, and particularly in the fourth quarter. And our outstanding sports information director, Eric Bohannon, informed me that that was his 8th fourth quarter comeback of his career, which statistically leads all quarterbacks in the country at the FBS level. Ray Lowry, another outstanding game, 18 carries, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have the 1 fumble, which was his first fumble of the year, but I was really proud of the way he came back after that fumble and not only ran the ball, but he had a couple of really big pickups. His blitz pickup on the 4th and 3 was huge. He had a couple other really good ones in this game. So he's gaining ground in that area of protection and protecting the quarterback, and that's giving us a lot more confidence to play him consistently. Antonio Vaughn, again, an outstanding game, 6 catches, 140 yards, a touchdown. He had the longest reception of the year, a 74-yarder, which put us up 21-7. And then the offensive line. I thought the offensive line was very good in this game. When you look and see 210 yards rushing, that's impressive, particularly for a team like us that primarily throws the ball. Those guys were very solid up front in everything that they did, and those 2 drives in the fourth quarter, the 9-play 65-yard drive to tie it, and then the way our offense handled that situation where there was 23 seconds left to get the completion to David Washington, the huge completion to Zach Pascal for 24 yards that set us up on the 7, and then a play we practice a lot, just Taylor taking the snap, centering it. We called the timeout with 4 seconds left to set up that field goal. So those guys really handled themselves well in crunch time. I told the team on Sunday after this game that the goal we had set initially at the start of the year is still there for us, the ability to try to become bowl eligible, to try to get to 6 wins and put ourselves in a position to at least get consideration, and that's obviously going to be challenging. These 2 games we have left, Louisiana, Texas, 7-3 team, they're 6-0 in the league, they're the number 1 team in Conference USA, so it won't be without a challenge, particularly this next game in front of us that we're focused on, but those goals are still there. And in terms of the bye week, we'll take a different approach this week. We'll practice this week on Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday we'll focus on our team and getting better. We'll introduce La Tech, and then Friday we're going to have what we're calling a futures game. And what I mean by that is we'll go over to the stadium on Friday. We'll put the kids who generally don't get to play, primarily the red-shirted players, in full uniform. We'll give them a chance to play some tackle football, which when I announced that yesterday, there was a lot of excitement in the room because a lot of those kids, they don't get to play. You know, they practice all week, they lift weights, they do everything else with the team, but they don't get to dress and suit and get in the ball game. And when we have a roster of 110 like we do now, and there's about 40 to 50 kids that are consistently playing in the game, that gives everybody else an opportunity. So we'll do that on Friday morning, and I'm very excited about that, taking a good long look at the future of the program. And I'll take questions. And I'll do card tricks while I'm waiting for questions. Oh, yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, Dave.
No, that's fine. It's fine. If you want to finish with the card tricks, that's okay. When you went back and looked at the video, anything stand out to you that maybe you didn't notice on the sidelines, kind of in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the game?
Are you talking about towards the end of the game?
Yeah,
or?
just anything in particular.
Yeah, there were a sequence of big plays and just crucial plays, Dave, that were made by our kids in the fourth quarter on their next to last drive when they ran the screen pass, and Chris Smith, our nose guard, recognized the play and makes the tackle to keep them from getting a first down. We've been applying a lot of pressure on the punt, and their last punt went 28 yards, so we started on our 35. I mean, this kid had been averaging 45 yards. If he hits his regular punt, we've got to go 80, 85 yards. So that was big. The pressure that we had put on that forced a bad punt, the 3rd and 14 completion on the game-tying drive from Heineke to Nick England. And that's Nick England's first catch in the game to make that play. And then the 4th and 3 offensively, that was just a great call by Brian Scott. What we did was we lined up and we had 3 receivers to the right. We had Zach Pascal into the boundary, and Gerard Johnson was offset to Taylor's left in the backfield. We knew they were going to blitz. Brian knew a blitz was coming, and we ran Pascal on a quick shallow route. The linebackers blitz, the corner went with him, and the defensive end, when the back flared, the defensive end was supposed to go with him, but he blitzed, and that left Gerard Johnson wide open. And that was a play we had been looking to get the right time to call that play, and that was probably the call of the game. And then for Gerard to make the catch that he did on that play, that ended up really saving the game. Game's over if we don't complete that one at that point. And then on, obviously, the next drive, our defense, making the play on the draw. I was probably as surprised as you were that they threw the ball on the next play. Misher's interception, like I said, that's the play of the year. And then Pascal, that 24-yard catch. He was right on the sideline. He not only catch the ball, but have the wherewithal to get his feet in bounds, because that took that day from a 48-yard field goal to now where we could put it to a 28-yard field goal. So there was one big play after the other in the 4th quarter, and it seemed like, to me, and obviously I'm a little biased, but it seemed like our kids made every big play in the 4th quarter with the plays we made offensively, defensively. Satchel Ziffer, when the game was tied, he had a great kick. He pinned the ball down in the deep right corner, and our guys covered it. And like I said, they had the best return team we played and tackled it on the 25. So everybody contributed. It was the special teams, the defense, the offense, and for that to happen, particularly in the 4th quarter, because it hadn't happened since Rice. We hadn't had a 4th quarter performance where everybody stepped up in crunch time like they did, and that ended up being the story of the game.
What's the difference between going into a bye week, coming off a win, compared to coming off a loss?
The biggest thing is the attitude of the players. I'm trying to get them past. I tried to get it after the game, and then on Sunday, get it past the point of relief of the losing streak to just the pure joy of winning. And what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, they're still 18 to 22 years old. They're still college kids. They should enjoy winning as opposed to the pressure of losing and how you react to it. I always want them to react to a win with pure joy and excitement, and they should. They should react that way because they're kids. So just getting them past that. This shouldn't be relief. This should be joy, and I'm hoping that they got that message.
Obvious years gone along, Antonio Vaughn seems to have gotten increasingly better this season. He's catching a lot more passes for a lot more yards in the last 3 or 4 games. Can you talk a little bit about what he's meant to your program, and is he getting much of a look from the NFL scouts?
He's receiving tremendous recognition right now. He was added to the Blitnikoff list, which is the top receiver in the country in FBS football. He's, the last time I checked, Eric, and you can verify this, I think he's at least 200 yards ahead of the nearest receiver in Conference USA in receiving yards. And we probably should check the national stats. I mean, he's on his way to 1,000+ receiving. I think he's top 2 or 3 in the country in touchdown catches. Yeah, second in the nation in touchdown catches, and the impact he's had for us, Harry, is just incredible. It's inspiring. The players look to him as the big play guy, and what's happening now when we're having success running the ball like we are with Ray, we're starting to get one-on-one matchups downfield for Antonio, and that's what happened on that 74-yard touchdown. It was off of a play action, and he ran a post route, and it was just him and the safety that was there. So that's starting to happen now, the success in the run game. And then to answer your question about the NFL, when the season started, they were aware of him, but there was a lot of, we got to wait and see. And now there's there's genuine interest. All 32 teams that have been through here, primarily looking at Taylor, are now very focused on Antonio as well, and not just because of what he's doing as a receiver, but how he's a multi-dimensional player. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, and he's a skilled returner. So the interest in him has increased based on his productivity.
Given your challenge of depth at the wide receiver position at the beginning of the season, how important was it that he step up?
Yeah, we needed Antonio Vaughn to do what he's doing, and Zach Pascal is the other one who's quietly having a tremendous year. I think Zach's top 4 in the league in catches. He's up there in receiving yards. I mean, they're both playing like all conference players right now, but we needed Antonio to do what he's doing right now, and that's taken some of the pressure off the other younger players we have. You know, Melvin Vaughn's, he's a true sophomore. You know, he played sparingly last year. Now he's stepped into a good role. Nick England's a transfer. This is his first year playing with us. And then we've got, Marquise Little, Jonathan Duhart, Vincent Lowe. You know, these are true freshmen that are playing at this point. So for Taylor to have that comfort level with Antonio is definitely helping us.
Any other questions for Coach?
Hey, thank you all for coming. Again, thank you, 12th Monarchs. You gave a winning performance on Saturday, and we'll look for that again in 2 weeks. Have a great week.